All right, today we're tackling a fascinating condition called myasthenia gravis. But I don't want you to think of it just as a disease. Think of it more like a medical mystery, a puzzle inside the human body where all the clues point to one thing, a major breakdown in communication.
So, let me ask you this. What if your brain sent out a command, like lift your arm or open your eyes, but that message just got lost somewhere along the way, like a bad cell signal between your nerves and your muscles? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. That's the core mystery we're going to unravel with myasthenia gravis.
Okay, so part one, we're starting with the clues, right? And the first one is this really mysterious weakness, and it's the unpredictable nature of it that's so baffling. Now, here's the defining feature, the real head scratcher. It's not a steady, constant weakness. No, it's this fluctuating thing where the more you use a muscle, the weaker it gets. But then, and this is the crazy part, you rest for a bit and the strength comes back. It's this use it and lose it, rest and get it back cycle. That is the absolute hallmark of MG, and you can see why it's so confusing at first. And this weakness, it can pop up in some really specific places. A lot of the time, the first signs are in the eyes. We're talking drooping eyelids, what's called ptosis, or seeing double, which is diplopia. From there, it can move on to affect your speech, making it sound slurred, or even make it hard to swallow. And yeah, in more serious situations, it can hit your arms, your legs, your neck, even, and this is critical, the muscles you need to breathe. And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? It feels like my body's battery can drain without warning. That's such a perfect way to put it. 1 minute you're totally fine, and the next, you can barely hold your head up. It really drives home just how unpredictable and life-altering this can be. All right, so we've seen the symptoms, the what. Now, let's get our magnifying glass out and figure out the why. We're going microscopic to find the culprit behind this massive miscommunication in the body. So here's the big reveal. The culprit is your own immune system. Yep, myasthenia gravis is an autoimmune disease. Basically, it's a case of mistaken identity. Your immune system, which is supposed to be your personal bodyguard fighting off germs, gets confused. It's like a friendly fire incident where it starts attacking your own healthy cells. Okay, so how does this friendly fire actually happen? Let's break it down. Think about it like this. Your nerve sends out a tiny chemical messenger. It's called acetylcholine. This messenger is like a key. Its job is to find a specific lock, a receptor on your muscle cell. When the key fits in the lock, boom, the muscle contracts. Simple, right? Well, in myasthenia gravis, your immune system goes rogue and creates these imposter antibodies. These antibodies are like gum someone jammed into the lock. They block the receptor, so the real key, acetylcholine, can't get in. The message never gets delivered, and the muscle, well, it gets weak. So you might be wondering, where do these bad orders come from? Well, a lot of the evidence points to this little gland in your chest called the thymus. The thymus is kind of like the boot camp for your immune cells. But in a lot of people with MGs, something's off with it. It's like the drill sergeant in charge is giving out the wrong instructions, telling the immune cells to go attack the body's own muscle receptors. Okay, we've got a suspect and a motive. Now for part 3, how do the detectives, the doctors, actually unmask this condition and get a confession? Let's look at the diagnostic tools. So the diagnostic path is pretty cool, actually. It's a mix of old-school detective work and modern forensics. On one hand, you have the clinical clues, like a physical exam where the doctor just watches for that classic muscle fatigue. There's even this neat trick called the ice pack test for droopy eyelids. You put an ice pack on it for a couple minutes, and if it gets better, that's a huge clue. But then, to really nail it down, you bring in the high-tech gear, blood tests looking for those specific antibodies, and nerve conduction studies to see how the signals are traveling. And that blood test? Wow. It's often the smoking gun. Check this out. In about 85% of people with generalized MG, this test finds those rogue antibodies. That's a huge number. It's basically like finding the suspect's DNA all over the crime scene. It's a game changer for getting a clear diagnosis. Okay, mystery solved. But what really matters is what comes next, right? Let's move on to the solution. We're going to look at the modern MG toolkit and the multifaceted approach doctors use to manage it. So when it comes to treatment, there's no single magic bullet. Instead, it's more like a 4-pronged attack. You've got to control the day-to-day symptoms. You need to suppress that overactive immune system. You need rapid therapies on hand for emergencies, and sometimes you even bring in a surgical option. So let's put some names to these strategies. For just controlling symptoms, a common one is a drug called pyridostigmine, which basically helps boost the signal between the nerve and muscle. Then, to calm that immune system down, you might use things like corticosteroids. If things get really bad, like in a myasthenic crisis, there are rapid response therapies. Think IVIG, which floods your system with good antibodies, or plasmapheresis, which is kind of like giving your blood an oil change to filter out all the bad stuff. And of course, there's the surgical option, removing that troublemaker thymus gland, which can actually help reset the immune system for a lot of people. But what's really, really exciting is what's happening right now. We're entering a whole new era of treatment. Scientists are developing these incredibly smart, targeted therapies. Instead of just suppressing the whole immune system, these new drugs can go in, like a sniper, and take out only the specific parts that are causing the problem. This means better control, fewer side effects. It's a total game changer, and the science is moving incredibly fast. All right, our final section. Because let's be real, managing a condition like this isn't just about pills and procedures. It's about living and living strong. It's about finding that empowerment through community and support. And the good news is you are absolutely not alone in this. There are some incredible resources out there. You've got amazing groups like the Myasthenia Gravis Foundation of America or MyAware over in the UK. There are online communities, local support groups. Connecting with people who just get it is a hugely powerful part of the plan. And this is what I really want you to take away from all this. The goal today isn't just to treat symptoms, no way. The goal is to get to a point of minimal disease impact. It's about using this amazing toolkit of options so people can live a completely full, active, and awesome life. So that leaves us with this final thought. As our science gets smarter, as our understanding of the immune system gets deeper, how is the future of living with MG going to change? I think we're past the point of just managing a mystery. We are actively rewriting the story for this condition, and that story is absolutely filled with empowerment and hope.